Hello and good morning. Good morning, everyone. So the funniest thing has literally just happened. I have literally just been on for the past 5 minutes chatting away, thinking that the latency was the problem, and that's why you guys weren't talking to me. As if that's just happened. Well, a very good morning. I tell you what, I'll just do it all again. I'll say it all again. It's not a problem. I've literally been here just talking to myself for 5 minutes. And then I was just like, no one's actually saying anything. No one's actually like, and then I saw Shock the Toast's message saying, I hear we're going to have the famous nerdy singer Kayt here today. Are the rumors true? And I was like, yeah, they're true. Here I am. Talking to myself, everyone. So let's start again. So here we are on YouTube for our first ever Q&A session here on YouTube and our first ever live stream on YouTube as well. We've never done this before, and it was a great start, right, guys? I think it was a great start. So I just want to say a very, very warm welcome. We've got Cyborg Noise here, Shock of the Toasters here. Rob does music. Oh, it's great to see you, my friend. Great to see you here. Thank you so much for coming. How are you, Rob? I think it must be probably quite late for you where you are, but thank you so much for joining. It's great to see you. Vecchietto, ciao, my friend. Come stai? Extra twitchy gentleman's here. Michael's here as well. Good morning, lovely mods. I have made Michael249 a modder already. I did that a minute ago when I thought I was talking to you guys. David, hello. Good morning, David. How are you? That you guys were just having a chat amongst yourself whilst I was thinking that, you guys were there and I was there, but we weren't. Kaiwado's there. Black Tech is here as well. Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Perfect start, says Extra Twitchy Gentleman. Perfect start. Oh, I know. I do try. I like to try. So, guys, just to let you know what we do, now I'm from Germany, actually, really early over here, but brought forward my lunch break a little bit, says Rob Does Music. Oh, okay, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Isabel is here, says, I'm definitely not here, but I'm lurking, says Isabel. That's absolutely fine. You can lurk as much as you like. So you've probably already realized, guys, there's a slight latency and delay in the YouTube streams than what we're used to over on Twitch. So I'm reading out your messages as soon as they come in, and you probably won't hear me say them until 30 seconds at least after you've typed them. So that's how you can see what the delay is like here. So how are we going to do things today? So this is our first ever Q&A session live on YouTube. So between now and 12 o'clock, between now and midday, I'm going to try and answer as many questions as I can that come in live on chat. So if you've got a question for me, whatever it may be, it can be about like my favorite video game, it can be about movies, why I got into being a musician, any plans that I've got for the future, any questions you've got about some of the stuff I've done in the past, why I do what I do now, then this is your chance to do it, because I thought, let's put it in. Let's do a Q&A session. When we reached 100 subscribers on YouTube, I wanted to do something like this. I know it's not huge and we've got a long way to go, but I thought it'd be fun. And whenever we stream live on Twitch, I'm always doing music and doing as many requests as I can. So I thought just dedicating one stream over here on YouTube for a Q&A for anyone that does have any questions for me, then I will literally you will have my undivided attention for the next couple of hours. I've got my cup of tea ready. I've got my water ready. And how it's going to work is you guys can type your question just freely in the chat box. My mods will pick up the question. They will post it over in my Discord where the mods are, so I can read the questions on the mod Discord, and I can hopefully get through them all for you, or as many as I can within the next couple of hours. Michael says, for a lunch break, 11 is early. Rob Does Music says, exactly. He's put it forward. He's brought it forward, Michael. So he can be here for our first ever live YouTube Q&A session. Sounds good, said David does. Sounds good. Well, there we are then. There we are. So, feel free to ask away, my friends. Just bear in mind that we do have some latency. So I'm not going to be able to chat as I normally do in Twitch, but I will absolutely answer your questions as best I can. Just in terms of privacy and stuff, if there's any questions about companies or people I've worked for in the past and things like that, I won't mention any company names or anything personal under that sort of thing. Just to give you a heads up. I think that's fair. I will answer your question as best I can, but I won't specifically say any company names or personal details or anything like that. Kaiwano says, okay, I'll ask, how much does buying merch actually support you and what's your margin, says Kaiwano Punk. Okay, that's a really cool, interesting question to start with. So I always wanted to get something along the lines of merch. I just wasn't sure which route to go down because there's quite a lot of avenues you can go down and sites that you can get merch from and you can create your own merch. And then I was quite lucky, I think, when Stream Elements released their merch store because it was only a couple of months into when I started streaming, I think. And in regards to my business with merch is very much passive income in a way, which is really, really great to have as a musician because I don't have to literally sit down and do something to get the income that's made from the merch store. So I obviously got the designs made and I paid the same artist who is over in Canada that does our emotes. I paid her to do the designs for merch. So I had a very clear image in my head what I wanted the merch to be. I didn't want the merch just to be emotes. I wanted them to be specific merch designs. So obviously there was an expenditure there to get the designs done. But I have already made that back from the purchases that I've had in the merch store. I haven't had that many purchases in the merch store. And the margins are very, very high in regards to what Stream Elements gets and what I get. But the way I see it is, well, I've made back the money that I've spent to get the designs done. So I've done that and I've broke even in that respect. And then anything now that gets purchased from my merch store is extra passive income for me, which I'm really, really grateful for because it's great to have. And it's good, you know, the merch is there, it's done, it's been designed, I don't have to do anything more for it, and people can purchase it, and when they do, that's income that I wouldn't necessarily have had otherwise. So it's great as a passive income, definitely, it's really great. So yeah, to answer your question, it really does support me in a great way for people that want that sort of stuff. It's great. And it is a great way of getting some income in as well. David would like to know, how about a Kingdom Hearts question? What is your favourite level from the 3 main games of the series? So okay. So Kingdom Hearts, for anyone who's here that's not been here before, is my favourite game saga ever. It's my favourite game saga. I remember starting Kingdom Hearts when I was like 11 when it first came out in 2001. I started it back then. I completed Kingdom Hearts 1 and I completed Kingdom Hearts 2 back when they were released. And I remember not understanding it at all when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out because I hadn't played any of the extra games. And then now, 2 years ago, I downloaded the final mix and I started playing it from the very, very beginning again. And I've played every game. So there's 10 games in total that I've now done. But you're asking about the 3 main games. So Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, and Kingdom Hearts 3. What's your favourite level from the 3 games of the series? By level, I'm guessing you mean world. I'm guessing you mean what's my favourite world from the 3 games. And I'd probably head towards Kingdom Hearts 2 because it's my favourite game out of all of them. Hey, Aussie Scott, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. So yeah, definitely over to Kingdom Hearts number 2 is my favourite game out of the 3 main games, I think. And my favourite world in Kingdom Hearts 2, Oh, it's so hard. That's a hard question. Maybe I'd say I liked the Lion King world. There was the Lion King level in Kingdom Hearts 2. I thought that was a great level. I really enjoyed that one. And also the Mulan level. I think if I was to choose between both of them, I'd say the Mulan level of Kingdom Hearts 2 is my favourite level. My favourite place in the Kingdom Hearts saga is not Traverse, Twilight Town. Twilight Town is my favourite place in the whole of the Kingdom Hearts saga. But my favourite level would be Kingdom Hearts 2, Mulan. Hopefully that answered your question. I was just talking ages about Kingdom Hearts. Why not? Who else has anyone just joined us that I have not seen? I know the lovely Mr. Scott's here from Australia. Good to see you, Scott. Isabel's lurking away and waving to Scott there. The next question we have is from Michael249, lovely Mr. Troll Mod, has said, so when you've been a pirate, did you have relevant free time? And what was the most amazing country and city you could see? Oh, good question. So I was a pirate for a year. I decided to audition for a ship. I got onto it, into the party band, and I was there for a year. And I made a real point of making sure that I got off at every single port that we went to on the ship. So there were a lot of pirates, we'll call them crew, aka crew, on the cruise ship that would stay up kind of all night and then sleep the rest of the day. My roommate being one of them, the person I had to share a cabin with on the ship, she was someone who would stay up kind of all night and sleep all day, whereas I would go to sleep a relatively reasonable time after work, and I would make sure I'd get up really early in the morning and get off wherever the ship was, because most days the ship was in somewhere different. And my favourite place, country, city I went to was probably a place called Flam in Norway. I don't know if anyone's been or anyone knows of this place in Norway, but it's called Flam, and it's absolutely beautiful. It is literally postcard perfect. This place is, and there's mountains and valleys, and you obviously have to go through a fjord to get to it, and it's just really magical. I loved Norway. It was a great one for me. But we went on lots of different cruises, went around the Baltics. I was actually really upset when we got to Russia, and it was the only time we went to Russia in the whole year, and we stopped at St. Petersburg for an overnight stop in St. Petersburg, and none of the crew could get off. We weren't allowed to get off the ship. And I don't know why, but none of the crew were allowed off. The passengers were allowed off, but the crew weren't. So that was one of the only places I wasn't allowed to get off the ship. And I was super excited to see St. Petersburg as well. I was super excited. So I was quite gutted and quite sad to be told that I wasn't allowed to get off, especially because it was an overnight stay as well. We could have literally just gone off and just stayed off the ship for the whole night, which is a funny thing, because when you work on a cruise ship, you don't realise, but you don't actually walk on land at nighttime, because that's always the time the ship's sailing. So I remember one night, the only overnight stop that I actually had where I could get off was in Oslo in Norway. And I remember it being really weird, because I was walking on dry land and it was nighttime. That was unheard of for me for a year. That's just not a thing. When you work on a cruise ship, you're always at sea in the evenings, heading over to the other place. So, Norway was one of my favourite countries to go to, and Oslo was pretty cool to see overnight as well. And then obviously you got the Caribbean ports and things like that. They were awesome as well. But it was great. It was great. It was good fun. Rob Does Music would like to ask, when did you discover music and musicians on Twitch? And how long did it take you to realise this is what you want to do yourself? Okay. When did you discover music and musicians on Twitch? So I very briefly touched on it in my video this time last week when I mentioned the kind of my journey and how I've started trying to become an online musician. So just to go into it in a little bit more depth then, I guess, is this time last year, I was doing gigs where I was like, this is great. And I was really enjoying doing the gigs that I was doing, but I wasn't singing the songs I really wanted to sing. And I've been following a violinist on YouTube called Taylor Davis. And I don't know if I think quite a few people maybe from my Twitch community will recognize who Taylor Davis is. And I've been following her for quite a few years on YouTube. And she's made a really, really successful career out of being an online musician. And then one day, I think I'm on her email list. I think I am on her email list. I got an email, or I found out somewhere about a course that she was creating and she had made for musicians that wanted to try and be an online musician. So I looked into that course a little bit more and I enrolled on it online. If it helps, after this video, I can pop the link to the course in the description of this video if you want. And I enrolled on that course, and it's an online course, but it's hours and hours and hours long. And she goes into so many different aspects of being an online musician, and one of them was Twitch. And it's a kind of mentioned in the course, you kind of choose a main platform. You can choose YouTube, which is the route she went down as Taylor Davis on the violin. Or there was another website called Twitch. And I'd never heard of Twitch in my life. It's not popular. It's not very popular or very well known over here in the UK. I'm not sure about anywhere else. But I'd never heard of it before. And it looked into Twitch and how it was different to YouTube. And they're two very, very different ways of being an online musician. Obviously, Twitch was live performance as opposed to more kind of produced videos and music videos on YouTube. And at first I thought I was going to go down the YouTube route, and I thought I was going to go down that route and go out and try and film music videos and things for YouTube. And then I just started kind of looking into Twitch a little bit more. Lara6683, who's on Twitch, she did a Q&A written thing on the course about Twitch and what she does on Twitch and things like that, which I read. And then after a while, I just thought, this is probably it. Like, this is probably, from what I do now, what I was doing at that time, obviously performing live, and I have been performing live at gigs for near on 10 years, I thought that I'd be a lot more comfortable doing live performances on Twitch than I was training myself up in something I'm not very good at, which is music video production and learning how to use cameras and video cameras and everything like that. Don't get me wrong, though, Twitch, to start streaming on Twitch, you need to then learn all the setup and what you need to get for the setup and how you're going to use your audio. I'm a Mac user, so it was a bit of an eye-opener in terms of how you can stream using a Mac. It's a bit different to other things. But yeah, I'd say it took me probably a month or a couple of months to kind of get my head around Twitch. And I would go on and I would watch people on Twitch, and I would go on and see other musicians on Twitch and watch what they're doing, what they're using for example, like their song list and stuff. But not only that, it was just great to be able to go on and just form relationships with people and just chat to other musicians that are like me. It was amazing. It was really good. And it just kind of gave me the belief that this was for me and Twitch was the platform that I was going to go for. And yeah, it was great. It was great. It just kind of everything clicked into place when I realized, okay, I want to go down the Twitch route. I want to do the Twitch route. And yeah, I haven't looked back. Even though I started my YouTube a couple of weeks ago, I started it to be my secondary platform to Twitch. There is no way that I want to come away from Twitch and move over to YouTube as my main platform. I will always remain on Twitch as my main platform, as long as they'll have me. And then have my YouTube as my secondary platform on the side. But hopefully that answered your question and that wasn't too confusing for you. I know I gabble on a little bit too much sometimes. Just going to have a quick look in the chat and see who is here. Are you guys talking about me being a spy? As you can imagine, Kayt is an Inspector Gadget. What? I am not Inspector Gadget. If you don't know her yet, Michael has popped the link down for Violin Tay. Thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate that very much. What I'll do when I finish this video is in the description, I will pop down Taylor Davis's course in the description as well for anyone interested in doing that. It's really mega useful, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that course. So I will absolutely put the description down in the link. And maybe in the future as well, if I continue to grow, I might do a video just about the course itself and go into a little bit more detail about the course, because it'd be great for people that would like to do online music. It's really, really invaluable. Punk says, I'd say more gamers know about Twitch, musicians not known in that spectrum of performers, at least in Sweden. Yes, Rob agrees with Kaiwano as well. Us here right now are in that bubble, but Twitch still is a niche, really, compared to other social media platforms. Shock the Toast says, I knew of Twitch, but thought it was 100% gaming and mostly esports. Only last September did I find out it was so much more. Yeah. I think people are starting to discover Twitch more now due to the COVID crisis. I think people are discovering it a bit more. For example, Tracy Chan has come over from Spotify over to Twitch Music now, and that's when they've now put the music next to esports, haven't they, on the Twitch front page. So I think more and more people are starting to discover Twitch. I think it'll become more well known this year, especially due to COVID. I think we're seeing a lot more streamers come over due to COVID. I don't know what you guys think, but I think musicians at the moment, because there's no gigs, are obviously looking into a bit more onto how to do stuff online. I mean, a lot of the people I know that are musicians in my industry are streaming on Facebook and things, and I'm sure that works. You know, they've set up a PayPal account and they ask people to donate to their PayPal and they stream on Facebook, and that's fine until gigs are back up and running, and then they'll return back to gigs. Because a lot of people I know that I've worked with in the past, and I had this conversation actually with someone not too long ago, and she's a singer like me. She's a good friend of mine, but she loves the buzz that she gets from performing on stage, and she loves the applause that she gets, and she can hear it and she can see people, and her worst nightmare is sitting in a room and performing with no one actually in front of you, and just talking without anyone talking back on other than chat. Obviously she needs that kind of buzz and that room atmosphere and that feel that she gets from performing live on stage, whereas I was like, no. She was like, don't you miss like the buzz you get? I need the buzz and the band. And I was like, no, I don't. This is what I prefer to do. This is my preferred thing, and I love doing this. This is great, but it's different for everyone, isn't it? It's different for everyone. And yeah, Twitch will be for some people, Twitch won't be for some people. YouTube will be for other people because they prefer to do and have time to make a music production and make music videos and spend time, on that side of things. Or if you're into live performing, but you don't necessarily need the buzz of an audience there and stuff, then Twitch is just a really great platform to be on. And it's perfect for me and what I want to do anyway. Rob says, thanks for the elaborate answer. I guess we agree going for Twitch was a good idea. Oh, yeah. Definitely a good idea. Isabel says she absolutely agrees. Good. Kaiwana says, same here. Lara6683 opened my eyes to what actually is. I think Lara is a lot of people's Twitch mum. isn't she? I think Lara is a lot of people's Twitch mum. She's a huge inspiration to me, Lara 6683 on Twitch, and you know, everything she does is such an inspiration and is great. And she's such a great person as well. That's the great thing about Twitch, is you get to kind of form a kind of Twitch connection with people, you know, and you wouldn't necessarily meet Lara and someone who plays the piano in video games, or meet a singer who will play the same stuff as you or is into the same stuff as you. I'm not going to meet them, you know, just around the corner. You kind of have to go around the globe to meet people that do this kind of same thing as you sometimes. And with Twitch, it just makes it so easy to be able to connect with people that are like you and are in the same kind of niche as you and things like that. Black Tech says there's a lot of new streamers. Yes, there is. Which isn't necessarily, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's great that Twitch is growing, you know, it's great. And it is good things. It's good things for us. Punk says, may it be medley supposed to be 5 minutes, but it was 1 hour. That's what made me sign up to Twitch. Oh, and I see what you're getting at. Yeah, a mega medley. Yeah. Scott says, I've been a fan of Lara for a while, and she had a link to Twitch in the info, which made me download the app and watch live. Then one day, she rated a singer called Kayt, and here I am. That was crazy. I remember that day. Oh my goodness. I remember that day. And my Navi fairy was going absolutely insane. She was going crazy. And that was before we were 1,000 followers. We're now over 2,000 followers. That is insane, right? Time flies. Time absolutely flies. Kaiwana says, anyway, let's get back to Kayt. How do you hide? Hang on. I'm skipping a question. I'm sorry, Cyborg. Cyborg says, do you have any gig disaster stories? Any gigs disaster stories? Yes, the one that springs to mind for me was very, very long time ago. When I first started, I was working in a holiday park in the UK. I was very inexperienced, and I was in a team of 6 singers. And we used to have to put on the shows for the audience, which was fine. And I used to have to do some very basic dancing. Like this. But I remember one day the smoke machines on the stage got stuck. And there was this huge medley of songs that were being played as like the overture of the show. And then once the overture's finished, you're right, Mr. Grumpy Hoot. Once the overture's finished, we all walk on stage and stand and sing this big chorus song. And I just remember walking out to a wall of smoke. Like it's dry ice, isn't it? It's not bad for you. But it was just the smoke machines on either side of the stage, it got stuck. And it was just a wall of this, what looked like smoke. And we couldn't see anything. Not only that, but the audience couldn't see us either. And I literally just remember going out and standing there and laughing. Like, it was so funny. And then the fire alarms went off. So, yeah, it was fun. It was that's the one that springs to mind as the gig disaster. And it was funny at the time. It was funny. And when I look back on it, I laugh about it as well. So there's the gig disaster story from way back when. I'm sure there's been quite a few disasters along the way, but that's the funniest one, I think. Kaiwano would like to ask, how do you hide the fact that you are a 230-year-old Khajiit in disguise? I don't try and hide it, my friend. I don't try and hide it. I mean, I go with it. And if anyone asks, the answer is there. It's on the command, !age on my Twitch. It will tell you I am a 230-year-old Khajiit. I'm not in disguise. I'm clearly a Khajiit, as you can see. If anyone sat there thinking, what on earth is a Khajiit? It's like a cat species character that you can be on Skyrim. And it's just the best species, actually, that you can be on Skyrim. So that's why I chose to be a 230-year-old Khajiit. in disguise. Black Tech would like to ask, what did Mr. Nerdy say when you told him you'll sit at home all day and stream music on Twitch? That's a good question. That's a very good question. So Mr. Nerdy, what did he say when I told him I was going to do this? So Mr. Nerdy knew that I'd enrolled on the course to look into how to become an online musician and things. And then I think he helped me get the studio set up. He started his career actually in sound technology and stuff like that. So a lot of my sound is thanks to Mr. Nerdy. We say thank you to Mr. Nerdy for all the sound and how that's been set up and things like that. And he was really, really supportive and still is really, really supportive. The funniest thing about your question is I think he finds it funny telling people what I do. So, for example, I've heard him say to people in his conference calls, like, when they've asked like how I am, how's Kate and stuff. He's like, yeah, she's good. Yeah, she locks herself in the spare room, shuts the door, streams live online, and then comes out and have made money. Which obviously sounds awful to a lot of people that don't understand Twitch. And telling people that even I find it weird telling people what I do. I go and lock myself in the spare room, shut the door, stream video live online, and then I'll come out with some income. Yeah, she sits in front of a camera and people can tip her money to do things. Yeah. And you know what? It actually, something that upset me a little bit when I first started on Twitch was I was talking to one of my friends who's a singer. And it was just over a cup of tea, and she was asking what I was doing, and I tried to explain it to her. And I don't know how you guys might experience this. Trying to explain Twitch to people is hard sometimes. So what I did was I got a video up of whoever was live at the time, I think, and I said, well, watch this. And then I said hello on the chat, and the streamer, I can't remember who it was, the streamer said hello back and stuff. And it blows people's minds. It genuinely blows people's minds. But up until that point, she was like, oh, so you have to set up a webcam and then you go online to people you don't know and they give you money. And I was like, yeah, but it's not. And she actually said, she's one of these people, bless her, I love her very much, but she's one of these people that doesn't have a filter when she talks. Do you know what I mean? Those people, we all know someone who doesn't have a filter when they talk. And she basically said, oh, so it's basically like, you know, the adult sites, because they have webcams. And I was like, no, it's nothing like that. Just get that out of your brain. And she was like, it does happen though. They do have webcams, you know, they do have webcams. And I was like, I know. It's nothing like that. Get it out of your brain. Stop thinking this. But do you know what? I think a lot of people automatically think of that, don't they? When you say, oh, I've got a webcam set up, I go online, and everyone's like, oh, really? Do you indeed? Do you? Anyway, moving swiftly on. Shock the Toast says, when did you decide that you wanted to pursue music as a career? When did I decide I wanted to pursue music as a career? I think, now this is going to sound really crazy. This is going to sound very, very crazy. But I think I was about 7 years old. So really, really young. I was really young. And I went to a holiday park in the UK, and I saw the singers up on stage doing their thing on stage. And I remember looking over at my uncle who I was there with, and I said, that's what I'm going to do when I'm older. And I think he just laughed it off, because I was like a 7-year-old, you know. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. And when I was 7, I started learning the violin, because when you're in school, around that age is when that they send the letter back home and they say, what instrument does your child want to learn? And do they want instrument lessons? If they do, pay this much. So I started learning the violin in group lessons at school. And then I just kind of carried on with the violin and carried on and went up and then started getting private lessons in the violin. I played the viola for a little bit because that's kind of like a natural progression with the violin, is you can then try and play the viola as well. It's very similar, even though it's in a different clef. So all the way through my childhood, all the way through school and everything, I was always music focused. Everything was music focused for me. I was always doing music. So that, I always had something to do after school to finish, like orchestra. School orchestra, and then if it wasn't the school orchestra, it was the school string trio. If it wasn't the string trio, it was the choir that I was singing in a choir when I was at school as well, even though I didn't have singing lessons. I auditioned to be part of the choir, so I sung the songs in the choir. And then when Saturdays would come along, I would go to the regional orchestra and I would play there. So all the way through my childhood, it was focused very much on I was going to be a classical musician. I was going to be a violinist. And I started learning the piano for a little bit as well. I learned classical piano for about a year, I think it was. And then just decided when I was 16 that I didn't want to be a classical musician. I didn't like the pieces I was having to play. I didn't enjoy the pieces that I was having to play in lessons and orchestras and things like that. And I just enjoyed singing. But I'd never done singing as a thing. So when I went to college and I took music A-level, everyone was expecting me to do my practical exam on the violin. And I said, no, I'm going to sing for my practical exam. And there was 2 other singers in my course, in my A-level course. And they were like, you can't just sing. You can't just say you're going to sing and do an A-level in music and sing for your practical exam. You've had no training. I was like, I'm going to do it. And for your A-level music, I don't know if anyone in chat has taken A-level music. Hey, Kayla, good to see you, friend. Thank you so much for being here. I don't know if anyone in chat has taken A-level music or the equivalent wherever you are, but basically for the practical exam, you choose like a theme. So one of the singers chose German arias, so she sung German arias. Another singer chose classical vocals, I think it was. And I just rocked up and I just went, I'm going to sing songs from movies. That's a true story. I did that. I was 17 at the time, and I said, I'm going to sing songs from movies for my A-level practical exam. And I did. And some of those songs that I sung for my A-level music are in my song list now. When She Loved Me from Toy Story 2, I sung for my A-level music. Gollum's song from Lord of the Rings, I sung for my A-level music. And Scarlet's Tide from Cold Mountain, I sung for my A-level music. So there's quite a few. There's quite a few that's in my song list now. Now I'm 30. Looking back on it, I performed those songs back when I was 18 in college. It was crazy. But yeah, I think that kind of gave me the push, because I got nearly full marks for my practical exam when I sung those songs, which was amazing and very unexpected. So that kind of gave me the belief that I could do it and not necessarily have to have years and years and years training in singing, which I'd had for the violin. I could just say, no, I don't want to do that. I want to sing. And that's when I then, I guess, ended up being a singer for the rest of my life. And here we are, everyone. Right, what else is being done here? Kaiwano says, how did you come to know our lovely mods? I tell you what, I'm trying to read a little bit of chat before I carry on because I'm aware there's quite big latency. So I haven't been looking too much, but you need to mention music first, says Black Tech. Are you talking about the online streaming thing? Yeah, I know. Hagrid, you're a violinist, Kayt, says David does. Yes. When will we get a violin stream, said Michael249. I got the violin out once when we hit 1,000 followers and we had a celebration week, and I was very embarrassed by the whole situation because I haven't played the violin now for a good chunk of time. Very good chunk of time. Kayla needed some cheering up, so she'd pop in here. Oh, Kayla, I'm so glad you've popped in, my friend. I'm glad you're here. Wow, I wish I'd had that myself figured out by the time I was 17, says Kaiwano. Yeah, I don't think I had my life figured out. I don't think I had myself figured out. I did some strange jobs in between. Then deciding I was going to become a singer. Life just takes you on a weird journey, doesn't it? And then eventually you get to where you need to be. And then you stick around. You've been preparing for streaming for 13 years, says Cyborg. Do you know what? I never even thought about it until this time last year. I hadn't thought about being an online musician. It hadn't ever occurred that it was something I could do. In my head, like, to be a musician, I had to go out and I had to gig. And that's a little bit stressful because you're self-employed. I've been self-employed for 10 years. And to find the work becomes a little bit stressful to try and find the gigs. But it's great. It's great being a singer. I love it. I don't know what to say to people, though, when they say to me, what do you do for warm-ups? I'm like, I don't know. Sing a song. I just come on and sing some songs and then I go again. What do we have here? What means nearly 4 marks? Sorry, Michael, full marks. I nearly got full marks for my A-level music performance. So if it was 30 points, I got 28 points on my A-level music performance. Although I was blooming awful at the theory, so I ended up with not a great grade because of the music theory. Scott is off. I have to sign off and get ready for work, but see you all next stream. Thank you so much, Scott, for being here. I really appreciate you here. We are going to be going live on Twitch at 12 o'clock today. If you are around. If you're not, have a fantastic day. Whatever you're doing, my friend, thank you so much for everything you do. Kayla said, I wanted to become a singer, so I became a singing pirate. Yeah, exactly. That was also something I never really expected to do in my career, was do a cruise ship. I never really expected to do a cruise ship. And then when I got the cruise ship, I felt like that was it. Like that was the peak of my career. I thought performing on a cruise ship was the peak. That was the best that I could be. And I wasn't going to improve from there. That's what I thought, genuinely. Right, let's go on to the next question then. When will we get a violin stream? Never! Kaiwano says, how did you come to know our lovely mods? Did anyone take persuasion, or was it easy peasy to get the mods? I captured them with a net. I went out with a Modo net to capture them, and I caught them and reeled them in, and they're stuck around. No, not really. How did you get to know your lovely mods? So everyone's different, I guess, in my mods. Everyone's a little bit different. So you've got Extra Twitchy, who is probably the first person I remember thinking I need to ask Extra Twitchy if he'll be my mod, because Extra Twitchy was one of the people that was in the lovely Sani Mayer's channel over on Twitch, who is an amazing streamer and is a very beautiful singer all the way from Finland, and was one of the streamers that I mentioned earlier that I would go in and watch and become and have a connection with them and have a connection with the people in chat. And Extra Twitchy was one of those people that was already modding for Sani at the time, and was one of the people that really kind of encouraged me and made me believe that Twitch was for me. Because at that point, I was literally just kind of going over to Twitch to see what it was all about, whether or not I thought I'd be able to do it or not, if the communities were going to be nice. And Extra Twitchy was one of those ones that really kind of encouraged me to start streaming when I think I mentioned it. I think I mentioned like, oh, I'm thinking of starting streaming on this platform. And Extra Twitchy was one of those people that was like, yes, absolutely, do it. And I think Extra Twitchy was following my channel before. I think I had something like 20 followers before I started streaming. That's a true story. That's actually a true story. Extra Twitchy says, I only applied slight pressure to the channel. It was great, and it gave me that kind of push and things like that. And then I just asked Twitchy. I think it was about a week into streaming, and we were getting raids. We were getting some awesome raids from people. Because I'd already been on Twitch and I'd been into people's channels, and I'd kind of made a connection with communities on Twitch, I guess. When I started streaming, some streamers kind of knew me already from their chat, so they would raid me, and I was getting more viewers than I was expecting to get in the first week. So I thought, oh wow, okay, I do actually need some mods, because if we're going to keep getting raids, which wasn't expected, I need some mods. So I'd already thought about asking Twitchy, so I asked Twitchy. Michael249 obviously was already modding over in Sani's as well, and that's where I knew Michael from. I think Michael wrote, "Hey Devil, how you doing? Good to see you." I remember Michael writing somewhere in Twitch chat something along the lines of things that I needed to become an affiliate. And I think that was the point where I knew that I was going to ask Michael to be a mod, because he was already trying to help the channel and trying to get me to affiliate, which was so awesome. And I was just like, oh, yes, that's amazing. So he was really kind of, I asked Michael to be mod. And then obviously Mr. Winged Daedalus. And I think I asked Winged Daedalus. Winged Daedalus was a very, very active member in chat for the first week or whatever it was. And I just thought, I'd love Winged Daedalus to be a mod as well. So I ended up with 3 lovely moddos to moderate the chat. And I think I can agree with me, my good friends. They are splendid moddos. I couldn't have had better mods. The latency isn't that bad. Oh, that's cool. Oh, good. The latency is getting better, my friends. Michael says, pro tip, make your most active viewer a mod. They're there anyway. Lots of hugs to my lovely mods. They're awesome. And then obviously now we've hit 2,000. Now we've hit 2,000 followers. I kind of thought it was probably time, because our viewer numbers are going up. So our concurrent viewer numbers are starting to go up in terms of Twitch. And sometimes we do get some huge raids, and I sometimes feel sorry for my mods because they're working and I don't want to keep calling them and being like, could you do this for me, please? Or could you do this for me? So when we reached 2,000, I decided to ask 2 more moddos to join the ranks. And if you came to Monday's stream, you would have seen the knighthood of Mr. Cyborg Noise, aka Beep Mod, who is one of our most active members in the community and chat, is a great supporter of the channel, and was already kind of helping the mods anyway in terms of when we had raids. He was guiding people to the song list and stuff, so that was a no-brainer to ask Cyborg Noise to be one of our lovely moddos for the 2K. And then Shock of the Toasteth was also really active, and also in, the majority of the streams, Shocketh was always there. And I thought to myself, I want to ask Shocketh because he's always in streams. He's a fun person, but he also will back up rebel mod Winged Aidless because they're both rebels. So we've got 2 rebel mods now, Mr. Shock of the Toasteth and Mr. Winged Aidless. Not Winged Aidless, Mr. Cyborg Noiseth. Beep Mod and Toast Mod are their names. Yes, Twitchy. There we go. Kaiwano says, thank you so much for the wonderful and elaborate answer. I am kind of new to Twitch, so know nothing about these processes. Insert mod love emojis. Oh, mod love is a thing. Mod love is a thing, definitely. And they're great. And you know what? There's so much behind the scenes stuff that you guys don't see on Discord, because I am a noob to Twitch, like I am. I only started it in November and I still don't know lots about it and things. And there's a lot of things that go on in the mod Discord that is obviously just where the mods hang out in Discord. I'll go on and be like, how do I do this? Do you know how to do this? I don't know how to do this. For example, yesterday, I was like, what do I have to do for YouTube then? Is there anything I need to do? And like, they were all on it straight away. They were all looking into it. Michael gave some really, really great experience advice because he mods over for some other Twitch streamers that come on YouTube. And between us all, we did a tech test yesterday and everything. And here we are. It's all working fine. So, but without my mods, I'd have been a bit like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. It's very important. Mods are great. It's very important. Right, next question. Hang on. Shock the Toast said she may regret it one day. We already had a massive rebel victory. Well, I never. Shan't happen again. Fake news for the rebel victory. Cyborg Noise has asked, did you ever have someone request video game music at a gig? Never in my 10 years of singing have I ever had someone request a song from a video game. I'll elaborate on that, actually. I've never had someone request a song from a TV show, and I've never had someone request it. Oh, no, wait, I have. The biggest movie song that was requested was Let It Go from Frozen. That was the biggest song that's been requested that's in our song list now for Twitch streams. The biggest song from that was Let It Go. And then 1,000 Years from Twilight was obviously a big one for weddings. That was a big one. No, I lie. I sit on a throne of lies. Funny this, actually. Someone booked me for their wedding. It was due to happen in July, and I literally got an email yesterday. They were the last wedding gig to cancel or postpone, basically. All of my wedding gigs this year have been cancelled or postponed, every single one of them. And this was the last one they were waiting. And they actually asked me, they saw me singing at like a wedding fair where you go and sing and then couples come in, and if they like you, they book you. And this was late last year, I think I did this. And they asked me if I knew the song from Outlander. And I was like, yes, I do. I do know the song from Outlander. And you should have seen the smile on my face. The smile on my face when they said, do you know the song from Outlander? And I was like, yes. I was like, but I don't have the backing track. So for those, I mentioned it in the video, but I don't play the keyboard anywhere else other than Twitch. I started teaching myself piano accompaniment for Twitch. So when I go out to gigs, I sing to backing tracks. And I said, I don't have the backing track for it, but I'll sing it for you, like with no music if you want. And they were like, yeah, can you do that? So I remember standing there in this big hall of loads of wedding suppliers. There was flower people, there were cake people and everything. And I just stood there with no music whatsoever and sang the Outlander theme song. And they booked me there, and then she cried. True story. So there we are. That's the closest I've ever got to anyone requesting something that I'm really into. Sorry, I skipped a question there. Thank you, Michael, for reminding me. See, mod love. Mods are keeping track of the questions for me. Michael's reminded me that I skipped a question from Rob Does Music. I'm so sorry, Rob. I can only apologise. Please forgive me. Rob says, how did your very first streams go? I heard lots of streamers get stuck with less than 5 viewers for ages, and the early days are the toughest. I'm asking for a friend, says Rob. Rob, my good friend, I was extremely lucky on my first stream because what happened was, because I'd already been hanging out in a couple of other streamers' communities, and what I mentioned earlier with Extra Twitchy Gentlemen, they'd all said to me, oh, let us know when you start streaming. And I just downloaded Discord, and I was like, I didn't really understand how it worked. And I remember going on to Sanny's Discord, where Extra Twitchy was, where Michael was, all these people. I remember saying, oh, guys, just to let you know, I'm going to stream tonight. Like, it's my first stream. Thinking that maybe Extra Twitchy would come over, some of the people that had followed me, like the 20 people that were following me, that this is my way of saying, oh, I'm probably going to test to stream tonight. This will be my first stream going live. And some of them will come over and it'll be like nice and relaxed and stuff. So then that night came along and I got everything set up. And as soon as I pressed start streaming, and this is not a word of a lie, I think this is on my highlights on Twitch. I think I kept this on the clips. You can watch it back yourself. I don't know if it was that actual one or it was the song that I highlighted. I can't remember. But as soon as I pressed start streaming, Sanny raided me with a party of like 100 people. That's true. I mean, someone correct me if that wasn't true, but I think that's the thing. Like, someone correct me if that's not how it happened, but that's how I remember it happening. I literally pressed start streaming, and as soon as I pressed the start streaming button, got raided by like 100 people. And then they all started following me, and my alert was going off. And bear in mind that I'd never streamed before, so I'd never seen any of this happening with the alert going off. And it was like, hey, listen. And I was like, what is going on? And then I had the latency problems because I was watching it on Twitch, not OBS, and then people were having to tell me, oh, turn it off on Twitch, like you don't want to watch it on there. And I could hear my voice coming back at me because I was watching it on the screen. There was technical problems everywhere, but it was so good. It was so good, and it kind of pushed me in the deep end in a good way. Like, I'm so glad it happened because it just made me get on with it. You know, and made me just kind of go, oh, okay, suddenly we've got 100 people in chat. Okay, I best sing a song. All right, I'll sing a song. Like, once I'd sorted all the tech out and everything. But, it was insane. It was insane. And I think we went from 20 followers before I'd even started streaming to, I think it was 100 or 78 or something along those. I don't know why I think 78. That's in my head. I think we jumped up to the late, between 70 and 100, literally in that first stream. It was insane. And everyone stuck around as well. Loads of people stuck around, which is unheard of, really. So it was awesome. It's awesome. Extra Twitchy says, yeah, true, we might have been waiting for you to press the button. Oh, see, it was planned. I keep seeing these things whenever we talk about this. I see people saying these little things like, oh, we definitely weren't waiting for you to press the go live button. It was planned all along, but it was amazing. It really was. It was great. Shock the Toast says, after I discovered Kayt, I went back and watched her first VOD, and it was amazing. It's there. It is there, isn't it, still? I think my first stream is on my highlights or clips. I'm not sure. But if you check out my Twitch profile, you'll probably find it. There's something to do with first stream on my VODs. Wow, that's an awesome story, and I need to watch this clip right now, says Rob. Yeah, do it, my friend. It's great. I was so nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. I would go on stage and sing to hundreds of people on a cruise ship every week to different people and not get nervous. And the moment I started streaming on Twitch, I was like shaking. I was shaking. And I still get nervous as well sometimes with Twitch. I was nervous about this because we've never done something like this before. I was nervous coming on YouTube and doing a Q&A. I was like, oh, Are people going to like it? Are people going to ask me questions? Or is nobody going to come and no one's going to ask me anything and I'm just going to look silly? It's true. That's how my mind works. But tell me to go out and sing to a few hundred people on stage. It doesn't really. I probably will be a little bit like nervous now because I haven't done it in such a long time. But at the time, it was just normal. Like it was you just get into a routine of singing the same old stuff on stage and getting dressed up and putting loads of makeup on and hair, and it kind of felt not like me. That's quite a good way to explain it. It felt like it wasn't me when I was on stage as much, because I'd have all this makeup on and do my hair and wear all this nice stuff, and then when I'd finished, I'd be able to take all my makeup off. It was still me in my head, but to them, I'm a cool kid. I'm a cool kid singing Ariana Grande and things. Little do they know. I want to sing a song from Kingdom Hearts now. I'll see what they say. Kaiwana says, what a great start. Wish I knew about Sunny at the time. Instead, you were able to give something back and pointed me there. Today, a big fan of both communities. That is good to hear. And that's one of the best things about Twitch is everyone supports each other in the music community and the art community as well. The music and the creative community on Twitch is really friendly and everyone supports each other, and it's amazing. It's great to be part of that. It'll all normalize one day. You even won't be nervous anymore when you get a multiple thousand raid. That's all very scary. Very, very scary. Black Tez said, that's just normal. I'm still nervous each time I mod a YouTube stream. Nerves are good, I think, sometimes. Nerves can be good. It's a good thing. Right, next then we have a question from Cyborg, reference warm-ups. I just hope someone doesn't request something too high as the first song, ? That has happened. That's happened. And Cyborg's saying this because it happened with Cyborg. Cyborg asked for a great song, and one of your favourites as well, isn't it? I think, Cyborg. It's called Under Your Spell from Buffy the Vampire Slayer's musical episode. It's just really high. And I think when I start streaming, especially the time I start streaming, so I wake up around 8:30. At the moment, I've been waking up a lot earlier. I don't know why. But I'd normally wake up around 8:30. I'd have a cup of tea, spend some time with Mr. Nerdy. And then about 9:30, I'll come up and I'll start setting up everything and getting things ready and doing the stream title and doing the background and all this lot. Because funny enough, this isn't always here. This is a removable thing behind me. It'd be funny when people come round to stay in the spare room and this is up. They're like, what? So I start getting ready about 9:30, and then I sit down and I start singing at 10 o'clock. And if one of the first requests that come in is a really high song, I'm going to struggle with it because I've just woken up. is the honest answer there is I've just woken up. And if you request something really high, I'm probably going to struggle with it a little bit. And that was one of the reasons I then started opening with an opening song a little bit, because I could then choose the first song at least, and I would make sure that it wasn't something really difficult and it was something quite gentle. And so I guess you could say that the opening song is kind of like the warm-up for me. That's how I kind of use the opening song. It works. I love Under Your Spell, says Cyborg. Devil's got that little heart there. Oh, it's so good to see you here, Devil. Thank you so much for being here. You guys, I can't believe you guys are here. Can I just point this out? This is amazing. I'm not sure how many people we've got, but this is so cool that you've all turned out. This is so lovely. Next question is, Michael, have you written any own song, started to, or thinking about? Yeah, I wrote this song that you can hear in the background now. I wrote this song not because I wanted to, but because of all the copyright things that were happening a couple of days ago. So I went onto just the Logic Pro that I use for streams and my sound, and I just started messing around with the keyboard, but with a harp sound. So I don't know if you can hear it, but this was me just messing around the other day. So this is an original of mine. I can claim that this is my first original. But other than that, no, I haven't. But it's something that I want to maybe look into in the future, doing originals. But at the moment, I think because my niche is video game music and movie music and TV music, it's obviously just kind of makes sense to do covers for that reason, because people will like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and then they'll ask me to sing the song from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so it works in that respect. I think if I started doing original music, I don't know if you guys would be interested in it as much, but that's not something that would put me off doing it. I would want to write original songs in my niche. So I wouldn't want to just write an original song about love or an original song about, I don't know, something that's happened. I would want to write an original song about either a game that I've played or a movie that I've seen or a TV show. So for example, a little bit like Miracle of Sound. If anyone knows Miracle of Sound, that's a really big inspiration to me, because he writes music about games and about movies and about TV shows. But it's something that I would need to look into a little bit more in terms of what you're allowed to do, because there's going to be copyright things and stuff, surely. So I'm sure it can be done because he does it, and lots of people do it. I just need to figure out how to write songs about existing games and things like that. I'd be interested, says Cyborgs. Rob says, we would be interested in it. Oh, you guys. Black Tech says, original music will work great with your established community, just not so much with the new people. Yes, yeah. I agree, actually. That's a very good point. Michael says, you could write an own song like for Portal 3, getting the vibes from Still Alive and Want You Gone. Yes, yeah, I'd love to do that sort of thing. And I think that's something I'd love to do in the future. One of my aims for the end of this year is to have at least one cover song released on like Spotify and Apple Music and things. If I can get an album out, that would be awesome, but I don't think I will. What are we in now? June. If I can have at least one cover song, like a single, released on Apple Music and Spotify by the end of this year, then I will be happy. So people can listen to some cover stuff on Spotify. But I mean, YouTube was a step for me that I set myself for the end of this year, was to have a YouTube channel and to have at least one song out on Spotify. So I decided to do YouTube first, and hopefully grow the community a little bit before I then release something on Spotify and Apple Music. So there'll be you guys that want to listen to it on those platforms. Hopefully, fingers crossed, there'll be an audience for it by the time it comes out. You could do some parody songs, says Shock the Toast. Oh, I love a parody song. But yeah, that's something to look into. I think originals will probably be way down the line. In my head, they're down the line. I've got lots of other things I want to achieve before I start writing some original stuff. But who knows? Might change my mind. Might start doing originals tomorrow. Cyborg says, if the C word disappeared tomorrow, would you start looking for new gigs again, or would you just stick with the Twitch? Oh, very good question. That is a very, very good question. So I'll be completely honest with this question. So at the moment, as it stands, I would need the other gigs because of the income coming in currently isn't sustainable just from Twitch. So when the gigs start to come back in, I do have to then start doing them again, but that's not a problem because I scheduled my Twitch in the morning, and that's the reason I schedule Twitch when I do Twitch in the mornings, and there's never gigs in the morning, and then I can go out if there's something that comes in the afternoon. I can do that, or they're in the weekends. Hopefully by the time I start growing, or hopefully touch wood, if we do start growing more and continue to grow online and my journey to be an online musician, there will be a point where I can then start saying, no, I don't want to do that gig. I'm not going to go to that gig because I don't need to. But until I get to that point, I still need to earn an income that's sustainable. So, I will need to still do gigs until I get to a point and a level where I can one day be able to say that I'm a full-time online musician. I'm just not there at that point. And so who knows, whenever the COVID crisis finishes, whenever that may be, we'll see what the situation is, bits and bobs like that. But, my end game is to be able to have my online stuff as my main career, and then do gigs as a side thing, and just do the gigs that I really want to do and have them as kind of like a bonus, I guess, in that respect. Oh yeah, I'd like to do that gig. I'll enjoy that gig. Like weddings, I quite like doing weddings because I get to sit and just chill out and sing some lovely songs and stuff like that. I quite like doing the elderly homes because you get a connection with them and it's nice, and they're kind of like midweek afternoons and they're quite nice to do. But it would be great to get into a position where Twitch and YouTube and, Spotify, whatever it is, I'm getting, a sustainable income from being an online musician, and then the gigs are the side thing, rather than at the moment, if gigs were happening, if COVID wasn't here right now, I would be making my main bulk of income would be coming from my gigs, and Twitch would be the side income. Obviously, at the moment, Twitch is the only income, but no one can help that. I mean, we're all in the same boat in terms of musicians and things like that. We're all in the same boat. But yeah. Have you considered doing any collaborations with other people from Twitch? Yes, I've been in chats with Matty, actually, Call Sign Scarecrow, who's doing another collab lottery. And I said I'd love to do a collab from the collab lottery for that. So we'll see what happens. I'm also keen to go and visit the Boings over in Germany. I do want to go and visit the Boings just because I like them. They're my friends. But it'd be great to go over and do like a collab stream over there if they'll have me. There's loads of people I'd love to do a collab with. There's a lot of people. I've never done one though. It's completely new to me. So I wouldn't know how to do one, but it'd be great. I mean, I'd know how to if I was there in person. Like, for example, if I went and visited Andy and Bibi, then I'd be there in person. And I'd be able to sing and with, a real pianist on the keys that can actually play the proper piano. That'd be nice. That'd be great. So, yeah, watch this space. One day. Isabel, cake. Thanks, now I want some. The cake is a lie, Isabel. The cake is a lie. Weddings mean free cake, right? Yeah, most of the time. Yeah, we do get free cake. Even though when I sing at weddings, it's normally in the daytime, so they haven't cut the cake at that point, so I don't get any cake. Sad times, my friend. Matty is awesome. Yeah, he is. He really is. That's cool. In terms of collab lottery would be good. I'm just trying to see if there's any other questions. There is. Kaiwano put, in regards to original songs, would you write both lyrics and music, or would you rather just one of them? I think I'd do both. Yeah, I think I'd do both. Because I like the idea of understanding music production a little bit better. I have Logic Pro X, which I use for my streaming audio. But obviously with Logic Pro X, you've got the ability to do actual full-on music production. So for example, Taylor Davis, who did the course that I enrolled on, she literally does everything herself. So she's got Logic Pro X, and she's trained herself in music production, and she basically records her entire album and does it all herself. So that's pretty inspiring, and is something maybe that I can aim for. And I mean, that not just for original songs, but that's also for covers as well. So if I was to release a cover song on Spotify, I would want it to have some other instruments in it as well, not just me and the piano. And that's something that I want to train myself in regards to sample instruments and things on the track that I can perhaps put together to make my cover releases that go onto Spotify and things. So what you'll find on Spotify and Apple Music won't be what you hear on Twitch, it'll be a little bit more music produced and have a couple more instruments on it and stuff, which is awesome because it means that you can hear kind of a different take on the song as well. So hopefully that'll be good. Kamaz A. Hello, Kamaz A. Welcome in, my friend. Said, what's your opinion on Logic? I like it. I mean, I can't give a massively in-depth opinion on it because I've only really used it very, very basically up until now. It is something that I need to look into more. I did start learning it and how to use it for online streaming, which I do on Twitch. But in terms of actually recording stuff, I still need to. I've got a lot more to learn in terms of Logic. I think you can do so much on Logic that it's, unless you're like properly like trained on it, it's going to take quite a while for me to figure it all out. But I will. I'm determined to figure it out. I will. Great idea getting into producing with Logic. Yeah, definitely. It's something. It's just like a. It's like it's a cool thing, isn't it, to be able to say I did that. Like I did that. Like what you can hear. Like I did it all. I didn't have to go to a recording studio. I didn't have to pay loads of other people to do something for me. It's just quite a nice feeling, isn't it, to try, at least try, you know. And if I fail at it, I fail at it. But to say that I've tried and I tried to do that myself, then I'll be happy. If I then say, look, I can't do this. I just don't understand it. It's too confusing. It's too complicated. I can't do it. Then I'll look into obviously going to like a recording studio or something along those lines to get the tracks out. The tracks will get out. It's just whether or not I produce them or not. We shall see. But I want to produce them. It's a goal of mine to be able to produce the tracks that I release. Shock the Toast says, is cosplay something you've been interested in the past, or is it something you've started doing specifically for stream? Specifically for stream. I've never done cosplay before, ever. And I still don't really think of it as cosplay. I kind of think of it as just trying to dress up a little bit more in theme as to what I'm doing. I've obviously always worn costumes because I've always been in the music industry and the show industry, I guess you can say, of on stage. So I'd always had the makeup thing and the hair, changing my hair for different performances and things like that, and wearing dresses and things like that. I'd never dressed up as something from a movie, and I've never dressed up as something from a video game or anything like that. But I like dressing up. I think it's fun. It's like the inner child in you, isn't it? Dressing up. So I quite like it, and I think in the long run, I'd like to, when I start producing a little bit more, how to say this, videos for YouTube where I'm perhaps out of this room and I've gone out to somewhere to film something or something along those lines. A little bit more produced videos on YouTube is maybe something that I'll look into in the future. I think then I will probably start wearing things that are a little bit more of a nod to the where the song comes from, rather than trying to make myself look like Aerith or trying to make myself look like Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas. That's fun and that's great to do on Twitch, and I really enjoy doing that. And at the moment with YouTube, I just feel like it just brings that a little extra bit of fun to the videos. I don't know what you guys think about it, but I do try and add a little bit of extra kind of fun to the YouTube videos that we're doing for YouTube. But if I was to go out and start producing a little bit more video outside, I'd probably start trying to make myself look a little bit more like me with a nod to the video game or something along those lines. I don't know. You tell me what you guys think about the cosplay stuff and if you enjoy it or not and things like that. good thing about Spotify, says Black Tech, is that releasing and licensing is actually quite easy. There's a lot of distributors that take care of all the reasoning. Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing that's spoken about in the course that I took from Taylor Davis. She talks about that, and she talks about the licensing and stuff. So there's lots of different angles in the course that I've done the course, but obviously I need to look over them again, and it's just a point of ordering what I want to do when, basically. I decided Twitch was my first thing. I was going to start on Twitch. Twitch was my main platform. It will always be my main platform. And then everything around it will add on top of it, which I'm very happy about, and hopefully you guys are as well. I'm just going to have a look. Your cat's mailbox is here. Hello. The Kayt Wave emote goes here. Insert Kayt Wave emote here. I can see it. I like the cosplays, says David. Oh, good. Isabel says, cosplay is a nice extra and always a beautiful surprise. Yeah, that's how I quite like them to be, I think. Just nice little add-ons, I guess, like little bonuses to some of the videos where I try and do a little bit of cosplay in them. I'm certainly not a professional cosplayer, but it's quite fun. Shock says, I think the cosplays and streams have been very fun. I approve, says Shock the Toast. Why, thank you, sir. Why, you're very kind, I say. Black Tez says, starting on Twitch is good. Very better discoverability there than on the YouTube or Spotify, etc. Yeah, I think so. Well, I think it depends what you do. I think some people will work best on YouTube. Some people work best on Twitch. Some people just work on both. And that's incredibly lucky and amazing. Just depends what you do, isn't it, really? And what you prefer. I know some people that would hate live streaming, but like putting stuff on YouTube because they've got time to make the videos. Whereas I prefer to do live streaming and then put videos on YouTube as a secondary thing. I'm just looking at these questions. Sorry, excuse me. Kamaz says, do you watch Power? The TV series named Power. No, I've never heard of it, my friend. Do you know who Teresi is? No, I don't. I'm afraid. I've never watched Power, and I don't know who Teresi is. No, I do not. But Teresi is a character from Power. But I've never heard of the show, I'm afraid. So I wouldn't know. No, sorry. Kamaz also asks, have you listened to the KSI new album? No, I haven't. Have you? Do you like it? Cyborg says, do you know about... hang on, sorry, I'm skipping. No, I am. Yes. Do you know about Disney bounding as Kayt? Excuse me. Do you know what Disney bounding is, Kayt? I think it might fit with what you do for a lot of your cosplays. No, I don't know what Disney bounding is. Can you tell me about it? Is this something I need to look into? Black Tess says, looks like you have put some thought in it and made some good plans. Yeah, I definitely have. I'm one of these people that I think about things for quite a while before I do them. And it's just one of the, it's like an annoying thing. Like, I'll think, oh, shall I do that? Like, for example, the video that I put on here this time last week, my Friday video, which was just me sat here chatting to the camera. Like, I made it thinking it was a good idea to do, but it was quite a spontaneous idea, which isn't normally what I do. It was quite spontaneous that day I thought, right, well, we've hit 100 subscribers on YouTube. I'm just going to do like a thank you message and go into my background a little bit. So I remember like videoing it and recording it and then editing it. And then once it was edited and it was all ready and it was all done, I was then like having doubts. And I was like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe people just want to see me singing. Maybe I should. And then I had to really think about it for a while before I decided to post. But I think one of the things that pushed me was I'd already said that I was posting it in Discord. I told people that I was posting this video that I wasn't singing in. And if it wasn't for that, I'd have probably talked myself out of of putting it on. And it probably wouldn't have aired for another 2 weeks or something. I'd have probably sat there thinking, shall I do that? Maybe I should look into it a bit more. Maybe, no, I don't know. I probably wouldn't have put it on for like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It'd have eventually turned up, but not when we hit 100 subscribers, which was it was supposed to be. Instead of dressing up in full costume, says Cyborg, it's using everyday clothing inspired by the character's appearance. Oh, okay, yeah. It's that sort of thing. It's that sort of thing that I'd like to do if I start making more produced videos for YouTube. It's like a nod to the character rather than trying to look like the character. So, for example, if I wanted to be Aerith, if I was singing Aerith's song from Final Fantasy, Aerith's theme, then I could maybe have a bow or something, or a red jacket or something along the lines of the same colours maybe. That sort of thing I think is something I'd like to do in the future. But right now I like doing cosplays on stream. I think we'll always do cosplays on stream for celebration weeks because they're fun. Because they're fun. Why would you not do cosplay themes on Twitch for like celebration weeks? We like to have fun on Twitch. It's a thing. Rob says, another good decision to post the video. Oh, yes. Thank you. Your comment was so lovely. Your comment was so nice on that video. It was just, I remember reading it with a big smile on my face. I was like, oh, wow. I didn't think it would have that sort of response for people. That was really awesome. That was really cool that you found it like inspiring and things. It's awesome. Isabel's like, fun. Yeah, it's fun. How are we doing for time, my friends? Are we good? We've got half an hour left. So if anyone's got any more questions, I think I've finished the questions we already had waiting. So if anyone's got any questions, we've got about half an hour, or I'd say about 20 minutes, because I think I'll go downstairs and make myself a cup of tea before we go live on Twitch. I need another cup of tea before we start streaming on Twitch today. But yeah, if anyone's got any more questions for me, or I can just talk. Talk. My favourite movie. Does anyone know what my favourite movie is? It's actually a trilogy. Trilogy of movies. Anyone want to take a guess on what my favourite trilogy of movies is? Michael says, Trollmod, what is the answer to the big question about life, universe, and everything? What was the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy's answer? It was a number, wasn't it? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Meaning of life is the number 42. There you go. 42, Michael. I mean, your number was quite close to it, really, 249. But the answer to life and the universe and everything is number 42. Now you know. Yeah, they know. See, they know. DM Tin the Freezer, your cat's mailbox, aka, says, "What's your favorite non-Disney movie, video game, musician?" Eva Cassidy is my favorite musician, and sadly she's no longer with us, Eva Cassidy, but I loved Eva Cassidy, and she still is a big inspiration to me in how I sing now, and what I sing and what I choose to sing. I sing quite softly and calmly, and I think Eva Cassidy's, if you don't know Eva Cassidy, go and have a listen, and you'll probably know what I mean in terms of how I sing. Is the same kind of style as Eva Cassidy. I'm very disappointed, says Shocker for the Toasters. Why? Why are you disappointed? Tell us. Isabel says, people hear trilogy and go straight to Lord of the Rings was my first thought to mind. It was. It is. Is my favourite movie trilogy is Lord of the Rings. It's true. When I was younger, I had the cutouts. Do you remember the cutouts of the Hobbits? Like, I had a Frodo cutout, and he would stand. I mean, where is that now? I could use that now. That could be awesome in the background. I don't know where it is now. I had a big cardboard cutout of Frodo when I was younger. Oh, that'd be so good in the background. That'd be so good. I need to find that. Where is that? Where are these things that you own and like cherish as a child? Now they're all gone. Fields of Gold is so wonderful. It is. It's really lovely. It's really lovely. And there are those songs, where I think, oh my gosh, like I love that song, but it's not in keeping with my niche. And I don't add them to the song list and stuff like that. But I still love them all the same. I think they're great. But I won't add them to my song list because I do like to have a niche. I like to have the video game, movie, TV show thing. That's my thing. And that's what I like to do. And it's cool when people come in and look at my song list for the first time and I don't think they expect to see just those songs. And that's cool. I like that. Rob says, thanks. The vid was great to learn more about you, especially for people like me that can't make your streams regularly. Oh, cool. Well, hopefully this Q&A session's been helpful for you as well then. That's why I wanted to do it. So if anyone had it, because I don't sit on Twitch and answer questions. I sit on Twitch and chat about absolute rubbish sometimes and sing songs. That's what we do on Twitch. So I hope you found the Q&A useful and helpful as well. If you can't see Frodo, perhaps he's put a ring on it. Oh, wait. Someone show the door to shock of the toaster, please. Can someone show the door to shock the toast? That'd be great. Thank you. Oh, nice. Few people know her, and she's so awesome. Yes. You didn't know 42. Gosh. No, I didn't. I've only watched Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy like once, and that was a long time ago. I couldn't remember the number, but I knew there was a number. I thought it had 6 in it, but it doesn't. It's just plain old 42. Plain old 42. I have a nice long lunch break thanks to you, says Rob Does Music. Oh, that is good to hear. That is good to hear. Michael said, watched? The correct word is read. No, I didn't read it. I watched the film. You're all going to hate me now. I didn't read it. I watched the film. I can only apologize. Everyone just vanishes from the live stream. What? You didn't read the book? You just watched it on... Oh, goodness gracious. Uproar, mutiny. Yeah, one active viewer. There's only one active viewer left. After he found out that I didn't read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Okay, so if there's no more questions, has anyone got any more questions? What good books have you read? I read The Last King of Scotland. I read the first few Lord of the Rings. I've read quite a lot of like animal rescue books, stories about animal rescuing. I like that sort of thing. What else have I read? I started reading Game of Thrones and then stopped. Any Pratchett? No, none of the Pratchetts. I'm not a massive book reader because it's finding the time then to read the books. I mean, I can't find time to play Kingdom Hearts anymore, let alone read a whole book. I mean, when you've got 10 Kingdom Hearts games to complete, when are you going to read a book, my friend? That's the question. That is, when are you going to find the time to read it? I need to play the games. I need to watch the movies. Talking of TV shows, I've recently just started watching Killing Eve. Has anyone watched Killing Eve? That's mine and Mr. Nerdy's new TV show. Killing Eve is what we're binge watching at the moment in the evenings. Have many games on the playlist. No room for books there. I have so many games. Yeah, so I've got all of the Kingdom Hearts to finish. Now I've got 13 extra bosses to defeat to get the secret ending. And once I've done that, Kingdom Hearts is finished. And then I've got Zelda Breath of the Wild, or as I like to call it, Zelda Breath of the Wind. I've got that to play. And then I've got The Witcher 3 to play back on the PlayStation. And then I've got a new game from my best friend who got me the Zelda Link's Awakening to play back on the Switch. So I'm really looking forward to heading over to the Switch once I finish Kingdom Hearts, because I haven't had a proper time to play that. I got it for Christmas and I didn't have a proper time to play it because I was into Kingdom Hearts. I'm very much a one game person, like especially when there's storylines like there is in Kingdom Hearts. You know, you need to be a one game person to understand what's going on in Kingdom Hearts. And all the games I play are very much like story games that have got like kind of deep stories going on. So you do need to kind of concentrate on one storyline and not get confused. How did you and Mr. Nerdy meet? And have you got any nerdy pets? Yes, I met Mr. Nerdy on the pirate ship. I met him on the pirate ship, and he got off very, very quickly because he'd finished what he was doing on the ship, and I stayed on it for quite a while. So we would meet up whenever the ship was in port. And then I eventually got off, which was, yay, good. We got any nerdy pets? Yes, we do. We have Nerdy Cat, who is very aloof, and she used to bless us with her presence, didn't she? People that were in my streams right at the beginning, Extra Twitchy will remember, Shocketh will remember, Michael will remember. I'm not sure anyone else remember. You can see clips of her. She's a black and white, very fluffy cat, and she used to sit on this seat, and that's really why this seat is here. There's no other reason for that seat to be there anymore, but she doesn't come in when we stream anymore. She goes and sits with Mr. Nerdy, and then she'll sleep on that chair at night, so I have to take Stitch off. Stitch can't stay on that chair because my cat will not be happy. We also rescued 3 chickens as well, so we've got 3 nerdy chickens in the garden. We rescued them from the slaughter. They were off. Their time was up from the battery farm where they were producing eggs, and they were off the chop, and we rescued them. So they're here now. So if we hadn't have rescued them, they wouldn't be around anymore. So that's always a nice thing to think about. They're horrible little things, though. I'm joking. They're not horrible. They're lovely. They're just really annoying sometimes. They keep thinking they have a right and a visa to come into the house. They don't have a visa to come into the house. They don't. You have to keep reminding them about this. That's so sweet. It is. And there is a flying moment on Twitch. Yes, there is. You can see clips of Nerdy Cat flying. You can see clips of Nerdy Cat staring me down when I'm trying to sing a song. She does lots of things. And not to mention, of course, Mr. Grumpy Hoot Hoot here. He's here. He's always here for streams. He's very important indeed. This is Mr. Grumpy Hoot Hoot for anyone who's doesn't know him already. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think it's nearly 1:45, so I'll just start wrapping up now. I'll then be able to go down, make myself a lovely cup of tea. And then we're going to be starting streaming over on Twitch. So it always sounds in case Kate needs to dunk something in her cup of tea. It's this mug as well. It's actually this mug. It's true that it happened. Mr. Grumpy Hoot ended up going inside the mug very accidentally. But guys, I'm going to start wrapping up now here on YouTube. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I really hope that it's been nice to kind of get to know me a little bit more, I guess, and get to ask me some of your questions about what I've done and what my plans are for the future and my career as well. I've just been really honest and open about everything, and it's been really lovely just to chat to you guys and just sit here and chat and talk. I hope it's been helpful as well for anyone that's thinking about starting on Twitch or YouTube or anything like that. Like I said, I'll pop a link down to the online course. If anyone's interested in that, I'll pop it in the description of this video. For anyone that does want to check that out, it's Taylor Davis's course online. Let me just read all these. Cyborg says, thanks for doing this, Kate. It's been great. Kaiwano says, this has been awesome. Thank you so much. I'll be lurking in the stream, the meetings all afternoon. Absolutely fine. Michael says, guys, in 15 to 20 minutes, Kayt will be streaming on Twitch. Yes, guys, if you do want to head over to my Twitch channel, there is the link. In 15 minutes, I'll go live. We're going to be doing mega medley practice today. So all you need to do is head over into chat. You can pop the song in the chat, and it'll be great. I'll just try and link them all as well. Isabel says, loved it, very cozy. Black Tez says, thanks for the stream. Max is here. Max, how long have you been here, my friend? So good to see you. Oh, guys, I want to do a very quick shout out for that Max here, who's in the stream. Max has been one of those streamers that has helped me so much in my journey so far in terms of Twitch, not only Twitch, but also YouTube as well. I remember chatting to Max when I first started on Twitch about when I got affiliate. When I was made affiliate, I remember chatting to Max about what I needed, and he was so helpful, so helpful. There are so many people that, I mentioned it earlier in terms of the Twitch community, there are so many people that just support each other, and Max is just one of those amazing human beings that has really helped and supported me and given me so much advice. And on YouTube, when I started YouTube, Max was in my Twitch chat at the time, and Max has got a great YouTube channel, and said, oh, you know, hit me up if you want any advice or you need any help with how to do YouTube. And I thought YouTube was relatively simple in terms of what you needed to do. And then I messaged Max, I remember that night, and said, oh, I'm going to start posting, like, I think it was tomorrow. I think it was the day after, wasn't it, Max? I was like, I'm going to start posting on YouTube. Is there anything I need to know? And Max just gave me all this information about what you do when you post videos, the tags, the title, the description, all this stuff that I didn't know about, and thumbnails and all this stuff. And I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't know these things. So yeah, I've got so many people to thank for helping me and getting me to where I am now. I know I'm aware that I've got a long way to go in terms of one day being able to say that I'm a full-time online musician. One day it will happen. And along the way, I've got so many people to thank. And I'm just super grateful that there are people like Max out there, and my mods, and you guys, just for supporting the channel as well. That, you know, without all of you guys, then I wouldn't be where I am now, and hopefully I will continue to grow, hopefully, as well, with all of your support and stuff like that. If that makes sense. Is that super cheesy? I feel like that's super cheesy, but I just wanted to say that. As soon as I saw Max's name, I was like, yes. I need to tell you. Everyone's saying hi to Max. There's the Twitch link to Max's Twitch, and also his... have we got Max's YouTube link? Can we get Max's YouTube link up? Because Max has got a great YouTube channel here. It's very inspiring. Rob says, thanks so much for taking the time. So inspiring, and have a nice day and weekend ahead. Thank you. You too, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. Max says something like that, and cheese is tasty. It is. It's great. It's very tasty. There it is, friends. There is Max Drum's YouTube channel. He's a fantastic drummer. So if you enjoy drum music and just nice human beings, please head over to his YouTube channel and press that subscribe button as well. But from me then, I'm going to go make a cup of tea. I will be back on Twitch in just over 10 minutes. And we will do some mega medley practice. But thank you so much for being here, guys. Thank you. Thank you for putting up with the slight latency in terms of YouTube. And please do head over to my Twitch channel if you'd like to see some music. We're going to do some music. Who are we going to raid, says Black Tech. You can't do that on YouTube. As far as I know, I don't think you can do that on YouTube. We're going to raid Kayt's Twitch. Yeah, let's do that. Right, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to press the stop. Well, we've never done this before, so we'll see how this goes. I'm going to press the end stream button, and I will see you all over on my Twitch channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you're watching this video as a VOD on my YouTube channel, and if you enjoy it, please consider pressing the subscribe button. and also heading over to Twitch and following my Twitch channel as well. Right now, guys, I'll see you all soon. Thank you so much for being here. See you in a bit for some musics. Bye. Bye. Bye.